In this episode of the Bloodstock Show, I've come to Ireland to the Tattersalls Derby Sale. This is a store horse sale, so it's where purchasers can take home the creme de la creme of National Hunt young stock. We've never featured a store horse sale on the show before, so I needed someone to show me around the place. And who better than a National Hunt amateur legend here in Ireland? Jamie Codd.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, how are you getting on?
It's good to be here.
Yeah. The sun is shining.
The sun is shining, yeah. The weather is sweet and there's lovely horses here.
Yeah, fantastic. It's the Derby Sale.
Yeah?
So
first of all, just tell me, what exactly are we looking at behind us? What can you buy here at the Derby Sale?
The Derby Sale, basically, there's 435 catalogued. There's a nice bunch of horses here, 3-year-olds that are obviously going to go on and go into training and hopefully see your next first lieutenant or relegator or some of those, you know. Usually the Derby Sale horse, we're kind of looking for that kind of 16-1. You're looking for pedigrees, but we're looking for a nice stamp of a horse that can go on athletically and go on and show that they can race.
I want you to show me what a proper store horse looks like. I know that's pretty much. There's 400.
That's pressure, yeah.
Yeah, there's 400 plus horses here, but I want to see a nice example of one. So you've picked one out. Who are we going to see?
We'll go down and see one. There's a Saint of Saints horse down in Barnell here, and we'll go down and have a look at him and see what you think. We'll cast your eye on him.
Yeah, my professional eye.
Yeah.
So my first view of him, and he's a lovely big horse, plenty of bone about him.
Yeah. No, he's a good physical. Desire is very popular, but he's a great top line. You can see his top line there.
Yeah.
He's a lot of bone. Just he stands up nice. He's got a nice front leg.
And he's like beautifully proportioned.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a good-bodied horse.
How was he selected for this sale?
Basically, I went down to Gary's farm in Tinnahealy back the middle of March, and look at when you go down there at that time of the year, they're raw, they're in their sins, and but the minute he pulled this lad out of the box, you could see that he was a nice horse. Yeah, he just the minute he stepped out, he kind of walked.
How exciting!
Yeah,
job done.
It is exciting. So job done, yeah. So best of luck now. You know, he's got as I say, he's got a kind head in him. So
he might be riding you in a bumper. Would you like that?
I hope
probably
so.
Would.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He looks like he jumped a fence, so maybe a point.
National Hunt chase for you?
Yeah. We'll take that.
You wouldn't mind the Cheltenham Festival win?
Yeah, we'll take that.
Next up, I went to meet ex-jockey and now consigner Norman Williamson, who is one of the best in the business at sourcing, prepping and producing young stock for the store sales.
Most of these guys I buy as foals.
Okay.
So, for instance, this horse was bought as a foal in November of that year, so 2 months later he was 1.
Yeah.
I've had him since. They're all sold as 3-year-olds, unbroken, but well handled. The bunch I have here would be ready to be ridden in probably 10 days. You know, they've been driven and they're so well handled.
Lots of well-known faces attend the Derby Sale in either a buying or selling capacity. And they all know how hard a team has to work at home for years to get a horse to this sale, including breeder Davy Russell.
Your fees climb up as you're going along from when you're landing them on the ground as a foal. You know, it starts a long time before that, prepping them here for pregnancy, as you have shown on the show. A lot of vets involved and a lot of staff involved, and then patience and time after that, and loads of mollycoddling and handling, and then prepping a horse for a sale can be quite an ordeal for them, and you know it takes a bit of time, but it's all rewarded then when you come here with a nice horse and you get well paid for him. These are the good days, you know.
Davy had one of those elusive good days when selling one of his own homebreds for €80,000. And meanwhile, Barry Geraghty was here on the flip side of the coin, attempting to make a purchase.
Trying to find the next Bob's maybe. It's a great sale. You know, it's a lot of quality, good bunch of horses. You know, so you're trying to find the next superstar ideally.
And so you do a bit of this behind the scenes away, obviously, from your riding. You're involved with a bit of pin hooking, a bit of breeding. What do you actually do?
Yeah, buying and selling young horses, I suppose, pin hooking mostly, and have been doing that over the years. Been lucky enough, I mentioned Bobswood before. We bought him as a foal and sold him as a 4-year-old. I suppose the other good horse we put through our hands was Brain Power. So lots of nice winners over the years, so you're always looking for the next one. The day you buy is the day you sell, so you're looking for the horse that you can sell. that you can promote, and a racehorse ideally.
Do you enjoy this side of the industry as much as any other?
It's a different side, very different from what I'm normally doing, but it's something I've always had an interest in, and been fortunate enough over the years that it's gone well for me, so I enjoy it. It's different.
Now, there are lots of beautifully bred horses at this sale, but none more so than lot 27, because that is Douvan's full brother, out of a mare called Starface, and by the sire Walk in the Park, who's produced multiple winners over the last few years. This horse is bound to be popular with all the buyers here, because why wouldn't he be? He's got an absolutely beautiful pedigree. And in the ring behind me here, he looks an absolute picture.
At €140,000, the Hammers up to $1 million. Douvan's brother, so this time around then at 140,000, all done and sold at 140.
And do you remember Vola La Vedette, the Grade 1 winning race mare? Well, her son, by presenting, goes through the ring very shortly, and is another to add to the list of beautifully bred individuals that can be purchased right here at the Derby Sale.
All done and sold at 80,000. And it's already 85,000.
And here's another that I thought you might want to get a look at. This is 189, and that is a three-part sister to the mighty Denman, and by the Super National Hunt sire presenting. To my eye, she's another one who looks pretty decent in the flesh here in the pre-parade ring, but we'll follow her through the ring and see how she gets on.
At 65,000, you're all done, so this time, all done. At 65,000, all done, and sold at 65. Thank you very much indeed.
The store horse sales have produced many good names, and nearly all of them have some sort of story behind them.
Well, we've sold plenty of good ones, and it's quite a few years ago when I was starting. We're all getting excited.
You. Yeah, terribly excited.
I suppose the first good horse I sold was a horse called Oskar Whiskey. He won, 15 races or something. And
he was a fan favourite.
Yeah, and he was, it's interesting because we all go around looking at him for days, and especially the new buyers, they're looking at him, but he was a small horse when I sold him, and he ended up growing. And he went to the Goff sale. I didn't think at the time he was good enough to be a Derby sale horse. At the time, I got well paid for it.
What did you let him go for?
I think it was probably 80,000, I think, which was a huge price at the time. But there's a funny story with him. Di Walters, who bought horses from me since, bought him. And Nicky Henderson was underbidder. And the minute the horse was knocked down, Di Walters said, would you train him for me? So
you got lucky.
I got lucky. I got lucky by how much money we don't know. If they had ever met previous, the horse would have made a lot less. So, but that's the business we're in, and you hope something like this fella might be the next champion,
Next Oskar Whiskey, do you reckon?
He'd be better than him.
Katie Rudd sold another well-known store horse in the shape of Layla, who ended up with Richard and Kaylee Woolacott and showed promise from being a youngster.
So we just always liked him. He was such a good-looking, easy, lovely horse. And I knew Richard from pointing in England. It was very sad, but it's lovely that it's working out.
So they bought him here?
Tom Malone bought him here.
For Richard,
and
then the rest is history.
Yeah, I bought off Katie, and I kept him for a year at home, and Lord rest his soul, Richard Woolacott came down and bought him with the owner in the middle of the summer a year after. He was a gorgeous horse from day one. He just was an athlete. I fell in love with him. I couldn't believe I bought him for 16 grand. I'd give him 40 or 50 for him on the day.
Really?
It was just one of them things, we last lot in the day, and sometimes you get lucky. He was very lucky for me. And actually, Paul Nichols, he won a bumper in Wincanton one day by 12 lengths, and I had to bid an obscene amount of money that evening to the owner, and thankfully he didn't take it.
Obviously, Katie picked him up relatively cheaply, you picked him up relatively cheaply, and then he's gone on.
Actually, the owners picked him up off me relatively cheaply. He was a good earner for everyone.
Early on in 2019, the ownership powerhouse that is Gigginstown shocked the sport when announcing that they are winding down their operation. That news was predicted to hit the store horse sales industry hardest, as the O'Learys were heavy hitters when it came to buying National Hunt 3-year-olds. But it seems the market hasn't been anywhere near as affected as feared.
A lot of the buyers and people are saying that, listen, maybe we have a better chance of buying a better horse. Which, makes sense, as in whether it's the type of horse you like. We all know that Eddie O'Leary liked to buy the big chasing type. And also, he wasn't afraid to stand up and buy him, as in give a lot of money for him.
Yeah.
And he liked pedigrees. So now maybe if you're the person that was always playing second or third fiddle to that, now maybe you've the chance of buying that horse.
There's a lot of new owners coming into the game. It's great that we have that kind of an industry, that people have the foresight to see that there was a gap in the market, that when Gigginstown decided they weren't going to buy in any more stores. So they will be sadly missed, of course, but again, I suppose it's the same as riding or presenting. There's no one really bigger than the game, so it kind of moves on with or without you.
Truthfully, it was the top end that got hit a small bit, and what that probably done was Eddie O'Leary, every time I wanted one at the last 2 or 3 years of the store sales, and he really wanted it, I was always underbidder. This year it didn't happen so much. The only shift I seen was that all of the higher priced ones have gone to England now. So that might actually start giving a few of the nicer young horses over to England, as opposed to they were all staying in Ireland for the last 10 years, let's say.
Like you could see that when you look at the results on the track as well.
Oh,
when
100%,
Ireland come over to Cheltenham
and have 25 winners, up to 28.
Blow us out the water.
Yeah, well, listen, look, that's the competition. That's the nature of the beast. This industry is a cycle, and it always turns, and it'll turn in other people's favour again.
Trade was brisk over the 2 days of the Derby sale. The horse Jamie Codd showed us at the start of the show, lot 295, sold for €75,000. Katie Rudd sold, among others, lot 284, Dr. Ken, to Ollie Murphy for €130,000. And it was Ollie Murphy who also purchased Norman Williamson's lot 91. He might have joked with us, but maybe he will be as good as Oskar Whiskey after all. Top lot of the sale went the way of lot 271, the already named Claval, who sold from Oaks Farm Stables for €220,000.